Welcome back to No, It's Crochet. And I gotta say, this week feels like a bad sitcom marathon. It started off with me stuck in bed all weekend with whatever cold was going around, and ended with my favorite dog and crochet buddy getting bit by a rattlesnake. But more on that later. Okay, for the yarn and breaking news, I need one of those segments. Maybe I'll insert that here if I can find it. Anyway, so news on the yarn front. The charges, the tariffs are now appearing on the Hobbii website. I haven't checked any of the other websites, given the craziness that I had going on this week. I didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of research, but it is showing up on the Hobbii website. And the math that I did, it's showing up to be about 35%. So I put an order in, just kind of a playing around and testing it, for about $50, enough to qualify for the free shipping. And when I got to the checkout, it showed a $17 and some odd cent fee for tariffs. And so if you do the math, it comes out to about 35%. Now, I know that the tariffs are going to vary, so it depends on what yarn you're buying and where that yarn was sourced. But I would estimate that it's going to be somewhere in that 35% range. So that is definitely something to factor going forward when you're buying from yarn that comes from outside the US. Now, I'm going to do a whole video next week. I'll put it out talking about what we can do instead, and where we can still continue to source our yarn at an affordable rate, and all kinds of other alternatives. That will be coming out next Tuesday, so make sure you come back and check that out. But for now, I just wanted to make sure that you were aware that the Hobbii website is now showing what the tariff fees are going to be, and charging those to you if you're within the United States and having those things shipped to the United States. My voice sounds terrible. I'm so sorry for that. It is very rough and scratchy from being sick, so I'm still kind of getting through that, but we'll make it through the video, and it's all going to be good, right? Let's talk about whips. Let's talk about whips, baby. Okay, yeah, nobody ever paid me to be a singer, I promise. Not a good thing. The denim jacket, you can see she is missing a sleeve because I've gotten one of those sleeves cut off. And the way I do that, I literally just use a pair of scissors and cut very close to the existing seam. There's nothing, like when I was first doing these, I tried to use a seam ripper and go all the way around, and it just got to be too much. So honestly, I think it gives a cleaner, better finish if I just cut really close to the existing seam and don't worry about it from there. So I also detached the cuff because I may end up using this as the cuff for the sleeve. So if I kind of show you one of the sleeves that I've got here, I got them all blocked. I left on some yarn to figure out what I'm going to do with afterwards, but I may use the sleeve and attach it down here so that it gives it that kind of extra finished look, like I repurpose the sleeves. The thing is, I started it the way that I normally do it, and I didn't love that, so I'm kind of playing around with some different ideas. And the idea that I have right now is I might use some of these rivets and rivet into the denim here, and then kind of just using it as a loose, kind of almost removable cuff, so to speak. I don't know. I have to play around with it. I have to figure it out. I'm still kind of chewing on it. I find that my process when I do this, I get the question in my head of what do I want to do? How do I want to handle this particular challenge? I put the project aside for a few days and the answer just kind of pops into my head. Like, oh, well, this is what you're going to do. Duh. Why didn't you think of that before? So I just have to kind of let her sit. I thought I was going to be done with her. She's not quite done yet. Totally okay. Because I didn't honestly have a lot of time to work on anything this week anyway. So I'm fine. I'm fine with her being where she is. The Daphne Henley tank, I am still waiting to buy yarn on that. So she's still hibernating. Haven't gotten that. The Crochet.com is doing a 20% off. So for Labor Day, hey, note, Crochet.com is doing a 20% off for Labor Day. So make sure you take advantage of that. I think the code was 8LABOR25. Yeah, I think that's what the code is. And so then you get 20% off your whole order. So I might go ahead and buy it for that. I gotta pull the trigger and make that decision. And since I was sick and needed to have one of those mindless projects that you just kind of can do without thinking about it, I did get some more granny squares done. And so that was 6 more of the granny squares. Woohoo! Yay! Only 65 more to go. Nothing, right? Drop in the bucket. It's time for the finished objects. For the finished objects, I did finish the Starburst washcloth. So there she is. I think she turned out pretty good overall. Now, she's not perfect, and I'm not going to point out all the places that she's not perfect. I'm just going to say she's not perfect, and that is totally okay. So, I like, honestly, the color pattern shows up so much better on camera than it does when I'm just looking at it like this. From a distance, it shows way better than if you get kind of up close. It gets a little mottled and you can't quite see it. So, good to know. But I'm sure she washes just fine. So she is good to go. I did not do as many rounds because I don't like my washcloths being ginormous. I think that's a kind of a perfect size because I like it to be a little bit bigger than the size of my hand, and I have small hands. So I think that works out perfectly. That is the only thing that I finished this week. Next, I did start another quick project, and that is I have been wanting to remake my wallet. I have a crochet wallet, and I've been wanting to remake it because the original one that I have only has one pocket, and it's made out of worsted weight yarn, so it's a little thick and chunky for just a single pocket. So I am making this one out of a held together some extra baby merino, baby friends, baby cotton, mercerized baby cotton, and the Dahlia Mixo that I had left over. So I wound them together, and you can kind of see that, and have started to crochet. And basically what I'll do is I'll crochet a big wide section, and then I'm actually think I'm going to try, I don't know if this is going to work out, but I'm going to take just the Dahlia Mixo and crochet a pocket attached on both sides, and then I'll be able to fold those together and close it kind of, like a sandwich, so that I've got 2 pockets, one for credit cards, one for bills, and it will all be good. Now, I'm totally making this from scratch, not following a pattern. I'm winging it. I kind of do that. I don't know. Do you ever wing your patterns? Do you ever just kind of make something up as you go and try and see how it works out? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You just, it's an adventure. Stash. So for the washcloth, I used 47 grams. So that's 47 grams out of the stash. And I acquired 994 grams from Hobby Lobby. And that was one more skein for the denim jacket sleeve because I needed one more skein for that. And then two more of each of the blanket colors that of the blanket that I'm using. Actually, I probably should have brought one extra of this because I've used one more of this than I have of these, but we'll work it out. So I just wanted to make sure that I had a little bit more stash because I'm down to 2.5 skeins left. And since it was on sale and I wanted to make sure that the price didn't go up on it, I figured I would go ahead and buy two more of each of the colors that I need. I don't know that that's going to be enough to satisfy the entire blanket. I think I might still need to buy more, but I don't want to buy it all up front. I would rather just kind of pace it out and see how it goes. Just in case I change my mind and 6 months from now or a year from now, it's still sitting there. Who knows? So that was my plan. Okay. I also bought Hobby Lobby yarn. I mentioned that last week. I'm going to insert my video here. I was going to do this video as a Hobbii. Did I say Hobby Lobby? I meant Hobbii. I was going to do the video as its own separate video, which is why it's sort of I've got a different outfit on, everything like that. And then what I decided is because of the tariffs, I don't necessarily want to be doing a solo Hobbii reveal video. So I'll just kind of share the highlights of it with you in this video clip. So let's go check that out. Okay, let's see what we got. I know what some of it is. I don't know what all of it is. Oh, I do remember ordering this. Okay, so this is the Go Handmade Vintage. Now, this is a 70% wool, 30% bamboo. I'm a texture gal, so I need to know how things feel in like the real world. This still feels a little bit fisherman wool. I was thinking and hoping sort of that the bamboo would offset that. But I gotta tell you, this color is absolutely lovely. Okay, these are the Hobbii Unicorn Solid. Now, Unicorn also comes in a sort of a hand-dyed look, and I didn't get any of those. These are just the solids. Woo, right there. This is it doesn't show up. It looks more blue on the screen, but I gotta say it actually is more of a teal kind of colorway, which I really like. Actually, in my very first wedding, teal was the color that I selected. So it's kind of giving me first wedding vibes here. That might not be a good thing. And as you can see, these are all in hanks. So you're going to want a Swifty Swift on those. Whoops, dropped one. These are Go Handmade Soft Bamboo, and this is double, so I assume that means it's like a DK weight. Super soft blend of bamboo and cotton with a little acrylic. Look at that. I didn't even realize, but those colors they're kind of matchy-matchy, aren't they? Totally different weight yarns, but very, very similar colors. Maybe that's saying something. Okay, I think I got two more of those. Yes. Okay. What a lovely color palette I have going here. I just have to share this. I think I think this is a lovely color palette. I didn't mean for that. It was just random, but I think it's very pretty. And I have yarn all over the floor now, which means I have husky fur all over my yarn that is on the floor. That is inevitable. Can you relate? I bought some more of the Hobbii Rococo because when I made my garment with it, I fell in love with this yarn. This Rococo, I'm gonna have to do a review on it. Did I do a review on it? I don't think I did a review on it. Is so nice. It, like, I've seen some other people that are not as in love with this as I am, but I certainly am. It is 36% viscous, 34% cotton, and 30% linen. And let me tell you, that linen is known for softening up the more you wash it. And that, even after one wash, is very true. I think this is sort of a denim-y kind of look, which I wear a lot of denim. I love denim color. And I just love, I don't know if this is coming up on the screen, but Rococo has sort of different textures in it, and those textures pick up the dye differently, so it gives a really lovely look overall. So I got some of those. Oh, look, I have more of the bamboo. That's a lot. I don't know what I'm going to make with that, but it looks like I got 7 of those? 8? 8 of those? I hope I like that. And then I also got the Rococo in this sort of brownish kind of neutral color because I also wear a lot of neutrals, but now I'm kind of looking at it next to my skin. I'm not sure that it's the best. I'll have to look in the camera. It's almost a little too nude for me. That might not have been the best choice. I might have to put this one up for sale. We'll see. I'm sad because I really do love this, but at least I have the blue. I just don't think that that brown looked quite the way that I thought it did. Or, no, it probably did. I probably just didn't think about the fact that it was too close to my skin tone. I really don't think I factored that in at all. Okay, welcome back. So, in addition to the Hobby Lobby and the Hobbii, I got some darn good yarn. That sounds like I'm actually saying, I got some darn good yarn. Well, that's actually the name of the company, and I am going to do a video reveal of that because that's a US based company and it's kind of a whole special thing. So I will do a video reveal of that. It's not going to come out next week, but probably in 2 weeks or so. So I'm going to save the reveal of that until later. And with that, it moves us right into life updates. And if you don't care one iota about my life, then you can just end the video here and go on. But I got some juicy updates, and that is including the update about my doggy. But first, my weight check in. Honestly, I gotta be transparent. I totally forgot to weigh in this morning because my mind has been elsewhere. So I think I'm probably pretty close to where I was. But I honestly, I mean, I haven't been eating as much, so maybe I went down, but I don't know. Don't know. So we'll check in next week with that, and hopefully I remember. I did get sick this week. I was sick a little bit when I did the video last week, and it didn't really kick into high gear until Friday. And so I kind of spent all weekend in bed, not because I really had to, but I was just most comfortable there, to be honest. And so I did get those granny squares crocheted, but that's about all I did. I just kind of binge watched Wednesday and finished up rewatching season one and getting caught up on season two until the rest of it releases. And, watch some crochet videos on YouTube and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah. And then just as I was starting to feel better, I went on Monday to get a haircut. Here you go. And color. The haircut was actually interrupted by a phone call from my husband telling me that he had just rushed my favorite dog, Willow, insert adorable picture here, to the vet because she had been bitten by a rattlesnake. Now, we have a big yard. Our property's over an acre and a third, and we back to state land, so there's a lot of desert behind us. We have had rattlesnakes in our yard many times over the 15 or so years that we've lived here. We did lose a dog 3 years ago to a rattlesnake bite. That one bit her on the tongue, and they could not, even if they gave her the antivenom, there's a really good chance that her quality of life would have gone down so significantly because the necrosis that happens where the bite happens, that it just, after we made the decision to put her down, the vet said, you really made the right decision. So this was very traumatic because I was having flashbacks of losing our last dog, and so I was just a basket case. And the hairdresser, she was there when I got the call, and so we rushed through finishing up my haircut so that I could be with my dog. And my dog was at the vet for about 8 hours. They gave her 2 doses of the antivenom and then sent her home. So she didn't need to be hospitalized overnight. We took her back the next day. Her levels were looking good. The swelling has gone down dramatically. Caution if you're like queasy about these kind of things, but I'm going to put a picture of what she looked like when her face was fully swollen, just so that you know, in case you're curious. Fast forward a couple of seconds or so if you don't want to see this, but here you go. And the swelling has gone down quite a bit. My nose itches, sorry. So she's going to be fine, but this is still a very traumatic experience for, a good 24, 48 hours. And now we're back to the other side, which means that now I have a chance to really evaluate my haircut that we rushed through. I cut a lot off, guys. It was quite long on my back, and I just got to the point where I'm like, I'm tired of looking like it. When you lean forward and all your hair just kind of goes in front of your face. Like when I'm crocheting, it's all right there unless I pull it up. So I constantly was wearing the messy bun, and I just got tired of the messy bun. So I chopped it all off. Well, not all, because my husband has this rule. Just it has to be shoulder length or longer. That's his rule. He doesn't want it ever shorter than that. He doesn't get to say, but I like to keep him happy because I love him a lot. And so I try and follow that really strong request of his. So don't get me wrong, it's not like he's telling me what I can and cannot do. He's strongly asking that I keep it a certain length because he likes it longer better. But he also understands that I sometimes just need a change and sometimes I like it shorter. So I did go shorter, but I think the layers are still a little bit too long. So she's going to take me back in next Wednesday, and we're going to do a little bit more layers in here just to kind of give it less of that triangle shape. Right now I'm getting a very triangular vibe to it, and I didn't want that. I wanted more of a shaggy cut, so we'll get it there for sure. And so my haircut got messed up. My dog survived being bit by a rattlesnake. Oh, and on top of that, the day after she was starting to feel better, my 2 dogs got into a fight. they don't hardly ever get into fights, but there was some dog food that I spilled as I was moving dog food from one place to the other, and they got in a big old fight over it. And so the other dog ended up with a decent gash on her neck that we had to then get fixed. So I'm like, Jesus Louise, this is just, ugh. Hello, can I catch a break, right? So, with that, we're going to wrap it up today. I would love to know what your week was like. Hopefully, it was better than mine and things are going well overall. I'd love to know what you're working on. And if you have any ideas about where to buy yarn US based, so that we can avoid some of these tariffs, I would love to get your input. And if you share with me, and I get that before I record the tariff video, which is probably going to be in the next couple of days. I'll include that on the tariff video next week. So let me hear from you. I want to hear from you. Thank you so much. Farah, frog us out of here.